This is a download from Rutland Radio.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Rutland Radio podcast from rutlandradio.co.uk. This is where you can hear the best bits from the last week. It's Rutland Radio at breakfast time, Thursday morning. It's a very special day for us today because to this day we've been broadcasting continuously for 20 years, and I've been doing the show for most of that time as well, so thank you very much however long you've been listening. The Rutland Food Bank have a very busy day today as well as they distribute their Christmas parcels, and David Clark here from the Food Bank, which is just literally, if we knocked a wall down, we'd be in the same office actually. David, thanks very much for joining us.
Oh, Rob, it's great to be here, and congratulations on a special day for you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know quite how we've got through 2 decades of doing what we do, but yes, it's lovely to be here still doing it. Now let's talk about the food bank, because it is such a vital service still, and it's a more vital service for more people than ever, it seems.
Yes, nationwide food bank usage is going up, as I'm sure most people have heard, and Rutland is no different. Last year, our numbers were up by 50% compared to the prior year, and actually the increase has even continued this year. So our year runs from April, and comparing the 6 months from April the 1st, our numbers this year are up 23% on the equivalent 6 months period the year before.
And for anyone who doesn't know, you are referred to actually get help from the food bank. You get a voucher, you then go along, and then you give people what they need, basically.
That's absolutely how it works. We rely entirely on our referral agents, and it's one of the things that works tremendously smoothly. So Rutland County Council, all the social workers, citizens' advice, churches, schools, all these sorts of people hold our vouchers, and if they identify anyone particularly in need of food crisis, as we call it, they issue a voucher and they can come to Rutland Food Bank, be that in Oakham or in Uppingham, to collect their food parcel.
And that could be someone who, say, for whatever reason, has a change in their circumstances, which is quite temporary, and it could be just a week that they need some help. It could be over 3 or 4 weeks, say, where you're actually, where different agencies, for instance, the council, are actually sorting out how best for them to move forward with their circumstances.
Absolutely. You know, it's typically some change in circumstances. It is not, a long-term solution. It's something just to get them through and back on their feet again.
So your Christmas parcels, you have a huge amount. It's a very busy day for you. We'll just about be able to get out of our building for the amount of cars who are coming to visit you. But tell us how the Christmas parcels work and what's in them. What are you actually giving to people this Christmas? Okay,
yes, this is another thing we organise, and it's actually just slightly separate from the normal food parcel. Albeit that, again, we rely entirely on our referral agents to identify people who we can give a voucher to come and collect a Christmas parcel from us for. We raise the money through churches, individuals, indeed local businesses, and each year we're thus able to provide hampers for those people for whom the extras at Christmas are a real pinch. So that, it's often case our food bank clients, but actually it could be more than that, a wider group of people. And this year we're packing up, as we speak, we're packing up 230 hampers to be able to give to 230 individuals and families in the local area that have been identified by our referral agents, and they will be coming both to Oakham this afternoon and tomorrow to Uppingham in the morning to the parish church to collect their Christmas hampers.
And I know the Lions Club of Rutland actually have been able to donate to support you this year to help reach even more people as they've refocused their Christmas parcels as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're getting some extra help from Rutland Lions this year, for which we're very grateful, and it's actually allowed us to plan in that extra number. So I think last year we gave out 200 hampers. This year it will be 230, pretty much due to their help, extra financial help, and indeed some extra help from other individuals.
So tell us what's in that hamper. Is it, as you say, it's the extras, it's the things that I suppose go on the Christmas dinner table? Yes,
well, it certainly includes those sorts of things. Christmas pudding, mince pies, nice biscuits. Yeah, the sort of extras that are very nice to have at Christmas.
And I know also, whilst you're here, you'd really like to thank everyone who helps the food bank happen. You must have scores of volunteers. We see a lot of them in their green tabards, and they're working furiously. Volunteering for 2 or 3 mornings a week. So
yeah. No, we're tremendously blessed. We're blessed with a fantastic team of volunteers, something like 70 or so people who give of their time, be it at the distribution centres or in the warehouse. But you know what? The thing that I'd really like to take this chance to thank people for, Rob, is the people of Rutland who, week by week through the year have generously donated and continuously donate the goods that actually go out with the food parcels. Absolutely, if we didn't have that continuous stream of food for people, we could not do what we're doing. So thank you, and everyone who's listening who does drop off their goods, maybe at Tesco or Co-op or at Lidl, at those, we call them permanent collection points. Thank you for everything you've done over this last year to make Rutland Food Bank a success.
David Clark, thanks for joining us on Rutland Radio. And, I suppose all I can say to anyone who helps out with the food bank is get a rest on Saturday. That would be fair, wouldn't it? Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
Thank you, David. Beautiful morning here at Burley Park. The sun glistening off what we had pretty heavy early morning showers, but it's all cleared. A little bit on the muddy side, but actually the going's pretty good for the Santa fun run. Wildcats doing the warm-up as always. Kaz Dolby, have you got a special routine?
So this year we're going to be using something off of an advert that's been played for the last few weeks, so everybody should know it, and a really good Christmas mix from Avicii, and then we're going to do a traditional Shakin' Stevens song. So we're going to get everybody up there warmed up after you've heard from our fabulous singers.
Yeah, indeed. Could I have your names and what you're singing?
Amelia, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I'm Matilda and I'm singing It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas.
Name and what you're singing.
I'm Amelia and I'm singing Never Fall in Love with an Elf.
I'm Megan and I'm singing All I Want for Christmas Is You.
I'm Evie and I'm singing White Christmas.
I'm Saskia and I'm singing Believe.
Wow, that's quite a set, isn't it? And that all happens before 11:30 today. Over 1,000 Santas. In fact, we think it might be a record today. Do join us later and we'll keep you up to date with the Stamford Santa Fun Run. If you're on your way to here, by the way, use the first gate, the station gate opposite Water Lane, and that's your way in. We're just by the Cricket Club.
Rutland Radio.
Thank you, David. Well, the run itself kicks off at 11:30. I'm here with Martin Webster from Burley Rotary. Martin, what a record entry this year. We've been talking about this earlier this week when your president was on. He said about 1,100 and entries were still coming in. What's the final figure that you know at the moment?
At the moment, the latest figure I have is 1,280, and people are registering at the moment. We've had 40 register on site this morning, so it's a record all time.
That is incredible, isn't it? I mean, normally 800-900, and that is an impressive amount. But seeing that Sea of Santas kick off at 11:30, that's going to be such a sight. Sea of Santas in the sunshine, if we can alliterate as much as possible, in Stamford.
Yes, it's certainly a beautiful morning up here at the moment. It wasn't very pleasant yesterday with the rain and gusty winds, but we're lucky. It looks like a good day. I just hope everybody enjoys it.
And last year you raised about £7,500 for the causes that you support. Tell us about those.
Yes, well, we're supporting this year Sea Rider, Mine for Wendy, and Phoebe Research. And we've had tremendous response from the public generally, but also from those individual organisations who have all raised teams for the day. And we're hoping to see them run effectively around the course this morning. This year we will make a record amount of money if everything works okay. It's a bit early to say, but we'll certainly surpass what we did last year, and I'm optimistic we'll reach over £12,000, which would be great for charities locally as well.
Absolutely, Martin, thanks for joining us on Rutland Radio. And the atmosphere is building here. There's more and more cars arriving, obviously quite busy around Water Street, Barnock Road. Do be patient as you make your way in. And if you're heading to the Burley Christmas Fair and you're thinking, why are they all turning there? And then you get to a yellow sign that says, don't turn here for the Christmas Fair. That's because the main Burley House entrance is the way to go for that. Thank you, David. Well, it's a record amount of runners this year. 1280 signed up last night. At least 40 registered this morning, so it's probably about 400 or 500 more than the Stamford Santa Fun Run has seen in the past. I'm here with one of the teams. What's your team called?
Logan's Runners.
And tell us about Logan. Why are you running for him?
Well, so basically, when he was a little boy, premature baby, and my dad did a skydive to raise money, and Bliss donated, so we're running for Bliss to thank them for helping Logan.
You did a skydive?
We did, yeah. So this is Logan. When Logan was born, he was just over £1.02. So he spent a long time in the hospital for the prematurity unit. So he came home, and then after about 6 months, I did a skydive to raise money for Bliss. And we try to keep raising more money for Bliss as and when we get the opportunity.
How big's your team today?
It's just the 8 of us.
Yeah, that's pretty good enough, isn't it?
Hopefully, yeah. We'll start together. Hopefully, we can all finish together.
Yeah. And what a morning, actually. Look at the weather.
Yes, it's quite
lovely.
Sunny day.
Lovely and sunny.
Beautiful, absolutely. So have you got a time in mind, or is it just getting round?
Probably just getting round.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there. Good luck. Yeah. Nice to see you again, and have a good run. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Well, so many people here today. This is literally the Sea of Santas in the sunshine in Stamford. I'm here with, there's well over 70 teams here this year. What's your team name?
It's the Short Toffees.
Which is a blend of your surnames.
It is the Shortlands and the Christoffees.
And how many in your team?
8, I think. I don't. Yeah.
And first time doing it, or is this an annual event?
No, first time. So we've only just heard about it this year. We haven't heard about it before. So
really?
We'd not heard of it before.
Are you from miles away, or?
No, we're only from Peterborough, but we've never heard of it before. We thought we saw a leaflet on it, and we thought we'd come and do something different.
Absolutely. And what a day for it as well.
I know, it's brilliant. It was meant to be raining today as well, so we're really pleased.
Only early.
Ah, right. Okay. So we're pleased. Lovely and sunny. Lovely atmosphere. You can't help but smile.
And mulled wine and mince pie at the end.
Always. You need something to get you round.
And are you raising money for the actual charities that are actually involved with Rotary?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
So Mind for Wendy and Phoebe Research and...
Yes,
yeah, fabulous.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, have a good run today.
Lovely.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you, David. It really is an unbelievable amount of Santas here this year. And one school local to Stamford actually has over 150 signed up to its team. Is that right? Can I have your name?
Yeah, my name's Nick Teasdale. I'm Director of Sports at Coptill. We understand that we certainly had over 130 when I last counted, and probably a few walk-ups since then. So brilliant turnout by Coptill.
And this is an annual event for you as a school, isn't it? I know.
Yeah, we try and encourage our children and parents to come out and run as often as possible at school, and this is a perfect event where they can raise a bit of money for charity and have fun with their family.
Do you have any specific charity you're supporting this year?
This year we are supporting, the school council is supporting the Free Counties dog home, dog shelters, so I think our contribution is going to go to them, which is brilliant.
Fabulous. And what a morning. I mean, I've been talking to everyone about the sunshine, but it really is just about as good as it could get.
It's a glorious morning today, and this time last year we were knee-deep in snow, so, they certainly can organise interesting weather here.
Absolutely. Have a good run. Thanks for joining us.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. I'm here with the second Stamford Town Scout group. Well, that's what it says on the flag anyway. Paul Scholes. I know you're a bit of a runner anyway, but what a great day this is for us.
Yeah, no, this is a lovely day. It's a great event, and we've been here a couple of years now as a scout troop. So we just bring all our beavers, cubs and scouts to the event, and we're raising money for a new scout hall in Stamford. So,
yeah. How many in the team?
I think we're looking about 20 to 30 today, with parents and all the youngsters as well.
Excellent stuff. Thanks very much for joining us on Rutland Radio today.
Thank you.
Matthew Bowser, I'm from Lincoln.
You won the Stamford Santa Fun Run.
Yeah.
Were you expecting that? I mean, you made the first lap round first.
Yeah, I probably thought I might win it if I ran hard, so...
Is this your first time here in Stamford at Burley Park?
Not the first time, but the first time doing this event.
What a day for it, actually, for all the fun runners, actually. I mean, beautiful weather for it, for the competitive runners as well.
Yeah, I suppose mainly for people to raise money for charity and things. We were doing it for VHL, which is closely within the family, my partner's family as well, who run a charity. So, everyone raising money is great, and the fun runners people taking it serious as an event for everyone, isn't there?
And I know, from like the top 10, a lot of you know each other anyway from various events, I guess.
Yeah, Mike, who was second, I know him quite well. He's run like 2:30 marathon, so he's a good runner. And the lad behind him, I think, is quite a good 5k runner. So I think a lot of people would turn up hoping they would probably win it. But I was staying over this weekend, so I decided to do it.
And what must have been about 15 minutes or so?
It was just outside 16 minutes. It was a good course, a bit of a cross country, but mainly it's for fun, isn't it? So time's kind of out the window. So
absolutely. Matt, thanks for joining us on Rutland Radio. Well done, though. I mean, first past the post.
Yeah.
No one can take that away from you.
No, you're right. And we might come next year and potentially bring my little girl. I've got a little 6-year-old, so yeah, it'll be good fun.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
Yeah, I'm Steve Barnwell. I'm the minister at Oakham Baptist Church.
And let's talk about late night shopping then on Monday night. Oakham Baptist Church always take a big part actually in the celebrations.
Yeah, we try to. Yeah. Looking forward to it again.
So tell us about where you are and what you're actually going to principally be up to.
We're down around the marketplace this year, and we've got a bit of a marquee going on there. This year we want to have a look at something called Nativity Rocks.
Nativity Rocks, based on Rutland Rocks and all the other Rocks projects that you have around the area, but with a nativity theme?
Yeah, that's right. This time we'll be looking for people to put some sort of picture of the nativity story on one of their rocks that they take away. Yeah.
And unlike the find and rehide, it's find, take a picture, and then pop in the garden outside Oakham Baptist Church, and hopefully by Christmas they're all there.
Something like that. I mean, if folks want to decorate a rock and just hide it once, and then whoever finds it pops it into the church garden, that's fine as well. But we're kind of hoping that by the end of this, there'll be a nice collection of decorated rocks. We can make some sort of display in a church garden there, and people will literally have Christmas in their hands for a while, yeah.
So people can start painting these rocks on Monday night, actually, at your marquee.
Yeah, that's right. We, weather permitting, we're hoping it'll all be fine. But if there's a bit of rain, whatever. But we've got a marquee there. They can go undercover. We've got all the kit, all the pens for them to spend a bit of time there and do it well if they want to, and get engrossed, and then just take them away with them. They can finish them off at home if they want. But I think the idea is just to get them out there so that people can find them and put them on display. Yeah.
So we'll be mentioning this more after Monday, but certainly it's the first time you can actually go and make them. But you've got edible crafts as well?
Yeah, there's quite a lot going on around that marquee. So people can just drop in, they can pop in and out and do some bits and pieces, break up the evening, because we know it's there's a lot going on there and might just want a little rest and do something arty with the kids, yeah.
Now tell us about the 16th of December.
Right, okay, 16th of December, over in the Victoria Hall, actually, 10:30, everybody's welcome, but we've got this superhero theme going on, so it's a bit of an incredible Christmas, and a bit of an incredible kind of nativity mashup. So anybody's welcome, but we're really keen on dressing up. So if anybody's got a superhero outfit, whatever their age, 0 up to 94, we're not fussy. So superhero outfit or a nativity outfit, come along, have some fun, and there'll be a bit of singing, some carols, nibbles, refreshments, and hopefully a lot of fun.
So that's 10:30 on Sunday morning, the 16th of December.
That's right, over at the Victoria Hall.
Excellent. Thanks very much for joining us, Steve. So, firstly, Monday night, the 10th, and then the following Sunday, you've got your Incredibles service at Victoria Hall. So, why Victoria Hall rather than the Baptist Church? Is it a bigger space for you? Or
there's a bit of bigger space there, and we just wanted to go for a neutral venue, just so that people don't feel that awkward thing about church. It's not so much a service as a lot of fun. That's what we're aiming for.
Rutland Radio.
Hello, Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us on Rutland Radio. Massive news, really, and Walker's being on our doorstep over in Leicester said crisp packets have been recyclable, but they haven't been able to be sorted. Is that basically what's been happening?
Yeah, so crisp packets absolutely are technically recyclable, but there's a couple of challenges. First, if you put it in your rubbish, when it gets to the recycling centre, they're really, really difficult to separate and aggregate together. And secondly, the value of the crisp packets, even if they're brought together, is quite low, so recyclers aren't interested in them. Hence why we're launching a bespoke crisp packet recycling scheme across the UK today.
Is this actually going to be a massive expense for you? Because, you're working with a courier company to actually, get them couriered from people's houses if they can't drop them off at the recycling point. This is a lot of effort.
Yeah, it is a significant investment by us, but we really care at Walkers. We've heard all of our colleagues that care around the business, and we've heard from people that love Walkers crisps and any kind of crisp that they really want to make sure we minimise our impact on the environment, hence why we're launching the recycling scheme today.
And the fact that crisp packets have a sort of greasy, oily inside, that's not a problem.
No, not at all. So once we get them either from the recycling centres or they're picked up and couriered to a central point, they actually get washed and then shredded, turned into plastic pellets, and then those plastic pellets can be made into any basic plastic item, everything from garden furniture to roofing or flooring or even flower pots.
And I guess for you, it's not so easy to actually just change the material of the plastic, because you need a certain way of manufacture to make it work and make it efficient. And, you've got to go down the recycling route rather than change to, say, I don't know, paper bags in some way. Yeah,
absolutely. Our first main priority is to ensure that we deliver our crisps to people in a tasty and in a fresh way. So we really need to protect the quality. So at the moment, we're doing two things. The first is, as you say, we're looking in the long term to reinvent our crisp packaging. And we have a target by 2025 for it to either be 100% biodegradable, compostable or recyclable. And while we're doing that, and there's a crack team working on it in Leicester and around the world, we're launching with our existing crisp packaging this recycling scheme.
It's amazing stuff, isn't it? So basically, people take it to either the local recycling point or fill in a label, stick it on, and get it collected. That is such an investment.
It is a big investment, but we're really passionate about it, and we've heard that everybody is passionate about it. So all the people who love our crisps and all of our colleagues, we really want to do the right thing. So hence why either take it to a nearest recycling point, and you can find the details at walkers.co.uk/recycle. And you can even register to be a public recycling point at that point. Or, as you pointed out, bring them all together, collect them in an old cardboard box, download a label from a website, and then we'll come and pick them up.
Wow, thank you so much for talking about this today. This is it's really quite a revolution, I imagine, for your company, is it?
Yeah, look, we've been working on this issue for over a decade now. It's a really difficult challenge to crack, but we're really determined to do it. Hence why in the short term we're putting this recycling scheme in place as we work on our long-term target. And we think it's the perfect time of year to launch the recycling scheme, and maybe all of your listeners could make it a New Year's resolution to start collecting and then recycling their used crisp packets.
And about how many crisp packets do you actually sell a year or make?
Oh, well, it's about, from Walkers in Leicester makes about 11 million bags of crisps a day. So it's a lot of crisp packets, hence why we want to put this scheme into place.
11 million times 365. I'll do the maths later. And Duncan Gordon, thanks for joining us on Rutland Radio today.
Thanks so much.
Rutland Radio's best bits on the podcast.
So this coming week, Seaton Starlights are presenting Spamalot at Uppingham Theatre. I'm here with Louise and Lee Cook, who are behind it. Why Spamalot? Why Monty Python?
We went to see Spamalot about a week after we did Rock of Ages last year, and we thought it was hilarious. It was the first time we'd seen it, and we thought this would be a really fantastic show for our group to do.
And there are some really bizarre characters in this, aren't there?
Very bizarre. Yes. It's Monty Python's lovingly ripped-off version of King Arthur and his Knights of the Holy Grail. We've got lots of different knights. So we've got Sir Robin, who finds his passion, which is his Holy Grail, but we won't spoil what that is just yet. We've also got Sir Bedivere, who unfortunately suffers with flatulence as a character, not as a person.
Yes, I understand.
And obviously we've got King Arthur, and we've got Patsy, and together they're a really hilarious team. Lancelot. Now there's a very, very exciting surprise with Lancelot, which we won't spoil, but he is terrifying to begin with.
As someone in the audience, does it take a bit of kind of working out to start with? You're kind of thinking, does your mind get blown in the first 5 minutes and put back together by the end? Is that how it works?
I think when you start watching it, you think, this is quite funny. Is this serious? Is this a serious musical? Or is... and then you very quickly realise that actually it is just true Monty Python. It's just hilarious. It's just there to be laughed at.
And what times are the shows and when, and how much are tickets and where from?
So all the tickets are £14 and they can be bought at Uppingham Sports and Books or wegottickets.com or from Lee on 077 6658 2828. And we are performing from Wednesday to Saturday, and we're also doing a matinee on Saturday afternoon as well as an evening performance. Matinee is 2:30. All the evenings are 7:30.
Perfect, thank you. Very much look forward to it. From an amateur production locally, it's kind of taking a step out there, but it really seems to have captured the imagination of everyone involved.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. It's quite nice to do something just a little bit different from your normal run-of-the-mill musicals. And we've had a real blast putting this together and rehearsing every Sunday. We have just laughed all the way through rehearsals. So if you want cheering up, if you want to have a really good laugh and put yourself in the Christmas spirit, definitely come along. You'll love it.
We're trying to organise a Christmas party night out. Come to that.
Rutland Radio.
It's Rutland Radio at breakfast time on our 20th anniversary, 20 years to the day since we started Rutland Radio, and to also celebrate, as well as us actually going out into the towns today, Santa Claus is out too, and with the Lions Club of Rutland he starts his tour in Uppingham around the beaches area tonight. Alan Gray is from the Lions, and this is... You know, I guess people don't necessarily quite appreciate how many people, A, are involved with this, and B, it is such a frantic thing to do. I've been out on these tours before, actually, with the buckets, and you're literally running. You're spending 2 hours running from door to door collecting.
It's, we start most of the tours around 5:30 and we finish by 8, and that's the time that most children are going to be at home and not tucked up in bed. So it is pretty frenetic at times, certainly.
And obviously try and see as many children as you can. There's no real practicality of... There's no real way that you can do a U-turn or anything like that. The route is all planned out. It is what it is. So please make sure you are there, you're watching out, you're listening out, you'll hear the sleigh coming.
Well, as you say, tonight and tomorrow night we will be in Uppingham, which is where we always start with the Santa tours. And then on Monday we start the Oakham tours, and of course Oakham has expanded amazingly in the last few years. And one of the features of the new housing estates is a very high density and some pretty narrow roads, which make it quite difficult for Santa and the reindeer to actually get the sleigh all the way round. But interestingly, these areas, of course, there are a lot of children, as we found on the new Larkfield estate last year.
And I know you're doing as much of that estate as is possible. You might even actually add another route next year just to actually see everyone. But please, you know, if you can get to the route is not going to change this year, because it has to work the way it works.
Well, we'd love Stud Road to be all the way open, but we will actually, having had some feedback through our social media, we are actually extending the time next Tuesday. That's Tuesday the 18th. And we're going to start around 4 o'clock, so we hope we'll get some of the younger children. And we're going to try and get to both ends of Stud Road and all of Maresfield and the Avenue and the closes off there. We won't be able to go down all of them, but my elves, that will be Santa's elves, will of course wander down the closes and let everyone know that Santa's around.
And that's, you know... For the amount of people who are involved with it, you've got Christmas to prepare. You've got your carol concert for the Lions next Tuesday as well, and obviously you're making a big donation to the Rutland Food Bank this time as well to help them with their Christmas parcels. You've got all this going on, and every night you've got a team out from 5:30 broadly. That's correct, Rob. It is a busy time. We do have the carol concert. That's at the Uppingham School Chapel. 7:30, Tuesday the 18th, featuring the Rutland Concert Band. Excuse me. And all of the proceeds from that will be supporting the Rutland Food Bank. We've decided to call time on the Lions Christmas parcels because it's become ever more difficult to identify the most appropriate and deserving people. And also our method of collection outside the supermarkets can be a bit random, so we're not necessarily putting the best parcels together. The food bank do a much better job with that, so we felt this year that a donation or an event creating a donation would be
the way forward for the future.
So that's next Tuesday night for the Carol concert at Uppingham School Chapel, which is such a beautiful venue, having been there at Christmas particularly. How much is it actually for people to go along to that? 'Cause I know tickets are available.
Tickets are available from Uppingham Sport and Book on the High Street, and they are £8 for adults.
Excellent stuff. And Rutland Food Bank obviously benefiting from that. And 5:30 tonight, it will all start around the beaches in Uppingham. And well, thank you so much on behalf of the Rutland community for doing it as well, as the Lions, because you're always out, you're always there, in your high-vis, all year round at so many events, from the Rutland Show to the Christmas events. The Lions work hard in the county.
Yes, we certainly do. And we are a club that is gradually growing older, but we are young at heart, and we are still looking for new members. And of course, we wouldn't actually be able to do all these events without quite a large number of supporters. So I can only take this opportunity to thank the many people that do come and support us at our events, without whom we would not be able to put on the events that we do.
Alan Gray of the Lions Club of Rutland, Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining us on Rutland Radio.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio podcast.
So here, as part of our 20th birthday celebrations, we're at Savers on Stamford High Street. And we're just about to pick up yet another bill. Rob Wagstaff's just doing the transaction as we speak. Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Are you okay to tell us your first name as well?
Amanda.
Amanda, Merry Christmas. And yes, it's our birthday today, so we thought, well, why not?
It was my birthday yesterday.
Well,
so.
Perfect, yeah. I guess these sort of things aren't really kind of, you're not about to spend your birthday money on,
I've got
fabric conditioner.
It's not my birthday, it's a hubby's money. He can pay for shopping, can't he? Thank you.
Well, today he's saving a bit courtesy of us. So.
No, thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you very much for
so
listening.
Much.
And we try our best.
What I should do, I should put this money back into a charity box. If that's okay with you.
That's
it's
absolutely
so kind of you.
That's absolutely fine if you'd like to do that.
Yeah,
but, you can have a gift on us
thank
as well.
You.
So
thank you. Yeah, I know. But it benefits somebody else as well, then, wouldn't it?
Rutland Radio.
Hello, my name's Ricky Groves, and I play Ebenezer in Aladdin.
So it's your first time in Melton this year, playing the Melton Theatre. Is there anything that you're excited to see in Melton, or anything to taste or try or visit?
It's always nice to visit new places, and I'm looking forward to going to Melton Marlbury. If not for the pies, just to meet the people and have a look round. It seems like one of those places that has slipped me by. So, and I always like, every time I go and do pantomimes, always like to visit all the local places and taste the local cuisine.
And he's just working it out, your 8th panto this year. It's Aladdin. Just tell us a bit about your character in the play.
Yes. It's my 8th year doing panto, and Aladdin. I've played Ebenezer. I played him twice before. And it's basically a fantasy fairy tale about a love affair between a princess and a low-life boy, and I'm the baddie who has to try and get the gold and lock him in a cave, but that might give the game away.
So we've had last year we had Stephen Arnold from Coronation Street. This year we've got you, who obviously used to be in EastEnders. What's the best bit about performing in front of a real audience rather than obviously in front of some cameras?
I think you get so much payback when you do theatre work, simply because you've got an audience, and TV can be long and drawn out, and at the end of the day you sort of go home and think, well, did I do the right job? Did I do the right thing? And with theatre, you obviously you get that little spark from the audience, and once you've got them, it's great fun.
So we were just talking about obviously the area that you're going to be coming to Melton Theatre in Christmas time for the pantomime, and obviously you've got a bit of a connection. You know the area, or especially sort of Rutland area anyway.
Yeah, I don't really know Melton, but the Rutland area, I've mountain biked before around there, and gone into the lovely pub that's there. And I used to have a couple of dogs, and used to go on some lovely walks, because it's not far from where I am in St Neots, you see. So love it, beautiful part of the world.
And finally, what's your favourite thing about panto?
Favourite thing about panto is seeing the kids' faces when you scare them, and when the comic comes on, seeing the adults laugh, and the whole magic of Christmas, I suppose, because it's a great time of year.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
So exactly how tall is your Christmas tree when put together, Colin?
My Christmas tree is a wonderful 26 foot tall, Rob.
26 foot tall. How tall is your house?
I think about 18.
So in order to get your 26-foot Christmas tree into an 18-foot house, you had to cut it.
Yeah, we've had to section it into three parts. We've got the lounge section, which is the base of the tree, which I must admit is not looking too good.
And I suppose it's quite wide, being quite a big tree as well, so it takes up a lot of the lounge.
It does take up a lot of lounge. I think percentage-wise, this tree takes up a lot more than it should do, of everything.
Yes.
Space, height, the lot.
So you've chainsawed the bottom, stuck it in the lounge, you've then put the middle section in the bedroom and put the final section on the roof.
Yes, fantastic idea. I recommend it to all.
I'm not going to ask where you got this 26-foot Christmas tree from. Am I right not to ask?
The YouTube video does make it look like we're nicking it, but we did have permission to take it. So I won't say where it come from.
No.
Because some things are best left mystery, but no, we didn't actually steal it.
Obviously, you're known to a lot of people in Stamford. If people are driving down your road, they're not going to be able to miss the fact that there's a Christmas tree which appears to be coming through the roof.
I suppose to just draw attention slightly to my property.
Yes.
It's not fully up at the moment, actually. The bit on the roof's still there. But if you can imagine the bit in the lounge in the bedroom, although it's a great idea, practicality, not so good. So I was just going to trim it back a little bit, but I kind of thought, let's deal with this now, because you know what Christmas trees are like. Well, after they've been in a month, and then you try and take them out and all the needles fall off.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got that like times 10.
And
but I've left a bit on the roof.
And it looks like, Charlotte keeps your house really beautiful and lovely, and there you are messing it up. How does she feel about the whole thing?
What makes she keeps it beautiful and lovely? I'm actually the tidy one of the pair of us, you know.
Right, oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm the one with the OCD. Keeps everything all neat. My workshop is pristine. I hoover it every night. The house don't get that treatment.
Well, that's it for this week's Rutland Radio podcast. If you have any comments, you can email us via the website, rutlandradio.co.uk, and we'll have a new version on our website from Monday.
This is a download from Rutland Radio. For more information, go to rutlandradio.co.uk. This is a download from Rutland Radio.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Rutland Radio podcast from rutlandradio.co.uk. This is where you can hear the best bits from the last week. So we're here at Five Close in Stamford at Christmas Bells, right at the end of Five Close. You'll see it just as you turn right. This amazing house lit up. It's where Mick and Carol Bell are. And how many years now? You told me twice the number of lights this year. So, it did start small, didn't it, at some point?
Yeah, it just started with one Christmas tree and a few big bulbs, and that was about it. And that was about 30 years ago.
Well, I can see 4 trees. Obviously, you've got the reindeer, you've got the snowman, you've actually got a grotto for the man himself now as well as all the other lights on the roof and everything.
Yeah, this year we've increased the lights. I think we've probably doubled the lights this year. It's got to be 10,000 lights. And I think the meterage and wiring is getting towards a kilometre. I think that's about as much as we can do now.
And I know you always do it for charity, and you always like to do it for a different charity each year, and you ask people what they'd like to see.
Yeah, I put it out on Facebook and got quite a lot of responses, some good suggestions, and eventually we chose Holly Ox Cancer Support, who operate out of Ketton's Social Club. That's just a local organisation that we just want to give a few bob to.
And lots of people have it in their diary every year. In fact, we're standing here just as the Striders are going to run up any moment and sing carols for you. How nice is that?
Yeah, it's a bit of an event, that is. It's very nice. It's nice of them to put it on their route and to make a use and do this every year. They've done it for several years now.
And people can see it right the way through until 12th night and hopefully make a donation whilst they're here as well to the charity.
Yeah, keep them on for 12 nights after Christmas, and then that's it. And then we take it, then it comes down at some stage during the next 2 months or so.
Yeah, how long does it take actually to create this each time? I guess you must just do a bit and kind of go away, or do you actually just have a weekend where you think, right, it's all going up now?
Yeah, I start, it's usually the first weekend in November, probably a day and a half, and then the following weekend, and then I hit it towards the end of November, so it comes on in December. So this year was probably around about 7-8 hour days in total in the average spent.
It is truly amazing. 30 years of work and it's come to this. I mean, it is amazing though, isn't it? And actually, even if you're inside, you're watching the telly or whatever, and you see all these people outside watching it, and particularly the children marvelling at it, it must actually be just wonderful to watch.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean, it makes it all worthwhile. Obviously, climbing around the house in the cold, stringing lights about. I do think why am I doing it? But yeah, like you say, when you see the people here and you come outside and you actually talk to the people, the amazing fact is that people who are coming up with their children actually came here as themselves as children in the first place, which is amazing to me. And I just doesn't, the 30 years just doesn't seem to have happened.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
We do a very traditional pantomime. We have lots of singing, dancing, slapstick, audience participation. Whatever you expect in a pantomime, you'll get it with us.
You've been involved in pantomimes for a long time.
I've been involved with the Stanford Pantomime Players since 1967, actually. I was helping backstage. Then I had 10 years in the pantomime, which I thoroughly enjoyed, but I thought that was enough for me. And my wife was in it since, I think she said 1963. So we met through the pantomime. So, it's got a lot to answer for.
And why do you love the pantos? Because they're such a Christmas tradition, aren't they?
Yes, that's right. Well, I think to start with, it was the camaraderie, just the fun of doing it and the whole thing, and being a pantomime as well. It was just fun. And it still is. The ages have changed a little bit. The cast have got a little bit younger, although we have got the town crier in it this year. And we've had grandparents and their grandchildren in it at the same time. So, it's a family show done by families.
Rutland Radio.
It's Rutland Radio at breakfast time. I'm Rob Pisani. I was mentioning the other day how panto is just a great tradition in this country. To tell us more about the Rutland Panto, the Rutland Arts Theatre Society doing Peter Pan very early in the new year, is director Carolyn Miller. And Carolyn, it is, isn't it? It's such a great British tradition, panto, and such a great Rats tradition as well.
It is. We do one every year, but as you say, panto, although in a way it's quite an old-fashioned kind of piece of theatre, nevertheless is becoming more and more popular. You've only got to think about the references to panto that we had in politics yesterday.
Yes, indeed. Peter Pan, one of the most magical, really, out of all the pantos.
Yes, and a classic story by J.M. Barrie, which has, persisted for more than a century. He based it originally on some ideas that he had in a novel, and then it became a stage play, and then it's undergone all sorts of adaptations and transformations. And because it's such a classic, you can do so much with it.
And for your unique take on it, I guess there's a few Rutland references. There's lots of well-known Rutland faces, from the acting world as well.
Yes, that's right. And one of the features of our pantomimes tends to be that it has lots of local references. So, yes, just keep your ears open for local names, local places, and absolutely no references to Brexit.
Really? Well,
probably a first this year.
It might well be true, yes. And as far as the local names who you have in it, could you give us a few of those?
Yes, we have Steve Green, Jill Waite, Joy Gregg. The other nice thing about this year is we've got quite a lot of new faces, people who were involved in Rutlanders Return earlier in the year, who then wanted to carry on with acting, which is great. So with our cast of just over 20, probably a third of them are new faces as well.
And Brook Priory School Theatre, that's your regular venue now, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and we're very grateful to them to be able to use it. It's a super size, and it's just a really helpful place. We also use regularly Victoria Hall for our rehearsals, and we're grateful to them, and also St Joseph's Church in Oakham, so it's very much a local concern.
Now, tickets available online and at Coleman's on Oakham High Street.
Yes, that's right. Adults, £8 from Coleman's. Children under 16 are £5, and then it's a tenner on the door.
Excellent stuff. Well, it's Peter Pan, Rats New Year 2019 Panto. I can't believe we're talking about New Year already. But it will soon be there, won't it? It starts on the 3rd of January through to Saturday the 5th, and the Saturday has a matinee as well as those 3 evening performances. And thanks very much for coming into Rutland Radio today.
Thank you.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio podcast.
Massive thank you to all of our customers, all the people who come in, to tell them that we've had the best year ever. It's just amazing here. It's wonderful to be here. It's to do with charity and community and happiness and greeting people, and we love it. And we've had the best year ever. Nearly 22,000 people through the door in 10 weeks, and we have hit a great big target. We have taken over £100,000. I can't believe it's true, but there you go.
That is incredible. And all the hard work of 70-odd volunteers as well, yes, who've been looking after things over 10 weeks at St John's Church. You've had the Christmas festival as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I call them my dream team, and that's exactly what they are. It is the best thing that I can do. It's wonderful. Yeah, just great.
Rutland Radio.
Councillor Gordon Brown, portfolio holder for environment, which includes waste.
And 12 days of festive waste. I guess it's Rutland County Council's drive to think more about the time of year when maybe we're using more, certainly in terms of food and things like that.
Very much so, Rob. As you can imagine, when families get together over Christmas, they will tend to produce more waste. And in Rutland, that's no exception. We'll be producing probably about 1,000 tonnes over the next month, compared to around 800 tonnes a normal month. And obviously, we'd like to encourage every resident to recycle even more of the waste over this Christmas.
And a lot of it can be recycled. In fact, in Rutland, typically there's more things that you can recycle. For instance, some wrapping paper you can actually put in your recycling bin.
Very much so. I mean, we're very fortunate with the company that does our recycling. They have they're probably one of the most advanced recycling companies in the country, and they can take a very wide range of materials. And of course, over the Christmas period, that includes wrapping paper. That is the non-shiny wrapping paper. The shiny one that you get, you've got to be careful. We call it the scrunch test. If you can scrunch it up and it stays scrunched up, put it in your grey bin. If you can't scrunch it up, and it springs back when you let it go, then that goes in your black bin.
And talking of bins, I know you've tried your hardest to keep the collection days the same as much as possible.
Yes, we have. It's very difficult. Obviously, our collection teams would like their holidays as well, and over Christmas and New Year. So we've had to readjust the times, and residents will be able to find those on our website. There's a special website for just for the waste and the collections over the Christmas period, rutland.gov.uk, festive waste.
And anything else to add about the campaign? I mean, it's really, I suppose, just a chance for people to think about what they throw out. And one other thing, actually, which always I find difficult when I'm recycling stuff is you've got to get it so clean, and it's the worry of contaminating the bin. Sometimes I think that contamination worry stops people from actually doing it.
I think that is a risk, but you don't have to put your margarine tubs through the dishwasher. Just a quick rinse out under hot water or something like that, or if you've got a jar with the remains of marmalade in it, just again a quick rinse, and that's quite adequate. We're not looking for pristine, clean items in the grey bins. As long as they're reasonably clean, then it doesn't contaminate, and that's what we're looking for.
And does it actually help Rutland, as a council, the more we recycle? Is that still actually the incentive it always used to be?
Well, it's both. I mean, quite clearly there's a great benefit to the country from recycling both paper, plastics, etc., and glass and metals, because they're reused rather than having to go for virgin materials all over again. So from a country point of view, that's very important. From a Rutland point of view, yes, it's less costly for us to send material to our reprocessor for the recycling waste rather than it going to our energy recovery facility up in Nottingham. Very little of our material actually ends up in landfill. It's less than 10%, in fact I think it's about 6%, ends up as landfill material out of the whole lot that of waste that Rutland produces.
Councillor Gordon Brown, very Merry Christmas, happy recycling, and thanks very much for joining us on Rutland Radio.
Thanks, Rob. All the best to you, sir.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio podcast.
Well, you've probably heard on Rutland Radio, the Community Christmas Appeal, coordinated again by Voluntary Action Rutland, led by Richard Orcello. And I'm here just to find out exactly how it's been going on. But being as though we have a bit of an audience here with the other town centre, the other members of Voluntary Action Rutland Community Hub, I have that for you.
Wow.
I know, that's your Hero of the Week certificate, which a certain person called Marie Pears actually sent me a nomination. She said not only about the whole Community Christmas Appeal, but the other stuff that you do. You work tirelessly to enable the groups you work with to have Christmas gifts, covering several hundred people, young and old, dedicating your life to Taekwondo, having been previous champion and now, of course, master, and teaching across the area, and just an unsung hero of the community in Rutland.
I shall well up with my tears and quite choke with that. Thank you very much. That's lovely.
So tell us about the appeal then. How's it gone this year? Because I know you've had people like Marie, in fact, she's been collecting for you. Music Bugs have been doing a lot of the children's presents as well through Louise this year.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin O'Brien, the big one first again, Land's End, come in with massive amounts. The public have been amazing. Been overwhelmed with gifts this year. It's been a great appeal.
And are they all going out as planned? Because I guess, you've just got so many different avenues that they all go to.
We're in between about 400 and 450 people, or families as well, that we've sort of donated to. It really has been overwhelming, the amount of people that have been in and out, and we've supported social services, Home Straight, Age UK, everybody. It's been straight across the board, from little children right through to old age pensioners.
And the men is always the most difficult to buy. Did you get some inspirational gifts for them as well? I know that's what we spoke about.
We've been very lucky. We've struggled this last week for, mostly it's teenagers. Even this morning, people have been in, taken presents away that really need it most. Some of the stories that we've had back from the public, heartbreaking stories. It's lovely to be able to support people in that way.
And talking here in the Bar Community Hub office, and I know you're not the only one here, this is one of those places that actually you really have to just put everything into to make work, because you don't have the resources you used to have.
That's right. It's a massive team effort. It's not easy, and it gets harder every year. We did lose our funding nearly 2 years ago now, and since then we have struggled, but we're still here, still pushing it forward, still looking at the future.
And you're basically paid for by the people who use this place.
That's right. We are self-sufficient now, and it has been tough. We've got lots of new things that are happening, a new look for next year. The people that use the building will notice we're having some building works done at the minute. Been raising money for that. Keep your eyes open and see what we do next year.
And getting back to the unsung hero of Rutland, that description, that's quite a big thing to take on, isn't it?
I'm quite choked up about that, actually. It's very nice, and I do lots of other things as well, so it's nice to be recognised. Thank you.
Well, that's it for this week's Rutland Radio podcast. If you have any comments, you can email us via the website rutlandradio.co.uk, and we'll have a new version on our website from Monday.
This is a download from Rutland Radio. For more information, go to rutlandradio.co.uk.